Hello, today we have a practical lesson on the relativity of mechanical motion. Let's get started. A migrating bird is flying strictly northward at a speed of 12 meters per second relative to the air. The air is moving eastward at 6.11 meters per second relative to the Earth. What is the speed of the bird relative to the Earth? Let's write down the terms of the problem. We must find the absolute velocity of the bird relative to the Earth. We know the speed of the bird relative to the air labeled as v1. It is equal to 12 meters per second. And we also know that the air itself moves at 6.1 meters per second. Towards to the east. That is, we will now show the direction in the drawing. Let's depict the air in the form of such a cloud. We will look at this picture from above. And accordingly, the bird is flying to the north. Let the north is here. And the bird is flying strictly northward at a speed of v1. And now let's show in the figure where the wind is moving. That is, the air itself as an air mass moves at a speed of 6.1 of a meter per second by the condition of the problem to the east. East in this case reminds that this direction is perpendicular to the direction to the north. And so now we see that we have two velocities which will be directed at right angles to each other. Now, how can we determine the velocity of these birds in relation to the ground? In other words, in relation to a fixed reference point. We must take into consideration that the air itself is shifting towards the east in this scenario, while the bird within it is moving towards the north. Therefore, the bird has two separate motions in relation to the ground. Firstly, its own velocity, which propels it towards the north, and secondly, the velocity of the air that causes it to move towards the east. When combined, these motions result in the bird simultaneously moving both to the north and to the east. Having two velocities in these directions. So to calculate the total velocity of the bird relative to the ground, we must vectorially summarize the velocities we have, and we get the absolute speed of this bird relative to the ground. Based on the obtained figure, we see that we will need to find the diagonal of the obtained rectangle, and we connect the Pythagorean theorem for this calculation. Let's substitute the value. v1 we have 12 meters per second squared, and 6.1 is the velocity of the air. And roughly after the calculation we get 13.5 of a meter per second. And 13.5 of a meter per second we get the speed of the bird relative to the ground. This is the end of our practical lesson. We'll see you in the next lessons. Goodbye.